All right. Let's try this again, family. Let's go. Peace and Black Power, family. It's your boy Psycho and your girl Renee. Black at you. You know what I mean? With another RBG pill show. I apologize, family. I don't know what's going on. YouTube is tweaking. It took forever for this notification to pop up and everything. You know what I'm saying? But we back. We back at it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get this show out one way or another. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out to Sister Renee. She's here with us. She's on time. Everything else is on me. So y'all can blame me for this.
Don't even start.
It definitely ain't on her end. It definitely ain't on her end. So yes, I ain't starting. I'm good. What's going on though, sis? What's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much. What's up?
I can't call it. I can't call it. I'm ready to get it in.
Yeah, because it's like it doesn't. Yeah, it's like taking a minute to try to get it to pop up.
Yeah, oh, it's up now. Yeah, we good. Shout out to everybody out there in the live chat. Shout out to Rashid. Shout out to Red of War. Shout out to Michael Phillips. Shout out to Midtown Pookie. Shout out to Shorty. You changed your name back. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Shorty. Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there might be listening or whatever. I'll come back to the playback. Sorry for being late. What's good though? Yeah. What's going on, sis? You want to talk about what we getting into tonight and anything?
Yeah, you can go ahead and start if you want. And you want to give it a minute for people to come back in, or you want to go straight into it?
Well, we could. I don't know. Whatever you want to do.
I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. We gonna. I don't know how you want to start this, Renee.
Okay, well, I'll start it. Okay, peace, y'all. Peace, everybody. Yes, a lot of technical difficulties, but basically tonight, the main premise of what we're going to talk about is the revolt panel that happened. I believe it was it Saturday? I think it may have been on Saturday. But I watched some of it yesterday or it may have been yesterday, I don't know. But I watched some of it yesterday and some earlier today. And it was basically like a political panel. And Revolt TV, if you don't know, is a channel on a cable channel, music channel mainly, that is run by P. Diddy. And so they like do the replay of like the Breakfast Club, and they play that in the morning, and they play videos, and they got a few other shows and things or whatnot. So he basically put together this political panel. It was run by the brother. I remember him from being on BET. I feel like he had a show he hosted, or he was like, it was a show he hosted, or he hosted with somebody else. But if y'all remember the brother named Jeff Jones, and he basically was moderating the panel. And on the panel, let me get y'all the names, because it's one person's name. Actually, it was two people's names that I meant to get, and I totally forgot. But the main people that, everybody's talking about being on the panel was T.I., Killer Mike, of course, that damn Candace Owens, okay? And Tamika Mallory was on the panel as well. And to be honest, and just keep it a buck, there were two other people there. Not to, no shade or nothing like that. I'm just keeping it real because I'm not very familiar with them. But it was two people, I think two biracial people on the panel. The one woman, she looked, I was kind of clueless as far as her and really her ethnicity to be on a panel speaking about Black politics. And that is important. I'm sorry. To speak about Black issues and Black political issues and dynamics, you need to be a Black person. And I don't know what this woman was or whatever. I'm gonna pull up her name and give it to y'all in just a minute. But those were the main people. Most of the conversation did center around T.I. and Candace Owens and Killer Mike, and basically a lot of the interactions that they had. I definitely have some things to say on it. I want to say that I think Psycho's going to play some clips or play some of it. But I think that it was a good thing. At the end of the day, though, it's entertainment, and it was pushed in that manner. I don't look at that as a real political discussion, honestly. It was an entertainment discussion that had some elements of political issues in the Black community. Okay, that's what it was. So I'm not putting a bunch of weight and importance on this as if it's so super significant to Black folk. It's not. But it was a good chance to see and hear some of the rhetoric that I know exists, that I've pushed back against, that we pushed back against for a long time, that maybe other people may or may not be as familiar with. So it's interesting. So we're gonna get into that tonight. Let me see if I can find this woman's name and the other guy. I know the one guy, he has an organization called Trap the Vote, I believe. Yeah, he has an organization called Trap the Vote, whatever that's supposed to mean. And I think the name of the panel was Trap the Vote, Hip Hop and Politics. So let me give y'all the exact name, because they kind of got lost. Okay, so the panel discussion included activists. Well, let me read this little part here to y'all, and this is from Revolt TV. The Revolt Summit dominated Atlanta this past weekend, so they had a whole summit. It was over a 3-day event, which was put in place to allow rising moguls to the opportunity to be enlightened and informed by people in positions of power who look like us. Okay, I don't know who that's supposed to be, but okay. One panel in particular, called Trap the Vote, Hip Hop and Politics, focused on the importance of being vocal and educating yourself ahead of the 2020 election. The panel discussion included activist and co-president of the 2019 Women's March, Tamika Mallory, rappers and activists T.I. and Killer Mike, activist and former spokesperson for the Donald Trump 2016 presidential campaign, Katrina Pearson. Honey, yes. So y'all Google, I think I can share my screen. I don't know. But y'all Google Katrina Pearson, honey, and then holler at me. American conservative commentator Candace Owens and Steve Parget of Dream Defenders. Journalist Jeff Johnson moderated the conversation. So that's basically the premise behind what went down. I guess I can read the rest of this to y'all, then we'll probably go ahead and get into. Well, you want to just get into playing the clips?
My bad, I was muted. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, well, we could just go into, so y'all can hear the clips for yourself. In case
I'm not sure exactly what parts you wanted to hear, because you didn't give me no timestamp, so I'm just going to play some of it. And hopefully this is some of the stuff you wanted to hear. Let's see. Was it anybody in particular you wanted to hear?
Really, most of the talking was done by Candace, T.I. and Killer Mike. So
okay, I'm at the right spot. Okay, all right.
Well, the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is, and I think that the most important thing for people in this room to understand is that there is a very small window. Right now, the Black vote is the most important vote in the country. There's a very small window before our vote's not going to matter. These conferences won't matter, and us in here won't matter, because the legal immigration, if you're looking at the numbers, every new birth in this country, 60% of all new births are Hispanic Americans, and the Democrats are about, listen, you're saying, let me get to the point. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. I say illegal is the new black because it's true, and there's a reason why they're advocating for open borders. Right now, our vote means a lot, but new births of Black Americans have stagnated. The population growth in Black America has stagnated. So the things that I pay attention to are the numbers. I pay attention to the birth rates in this country, which is why I'm pro putting something down to stop illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing Black America. 75% of Black boys in California can't pass their written exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools and couldn't find a single Black boy that was a single Black child that could pass a basic reading or a math exam. So I caught a lot of slack because I said this is the Democrat plantation, but I meant what I said. You look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves. There were 3 things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool we need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component, and this is the biggest issue that I think is facing Black America today, which was important to maintaining the plantations, was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing Black America is father absence.
You want me to just read some of it?
Fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. The government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children. You are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you
Hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage. But I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invite her. So let her say what she needs to say, and then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in Black America, and they thought that. Hold on, I want to finish this.
I'm listening on your hand. At a certain point, we can't be assholes. At a certain point, these are Black men and women, and in particular, these are Black women. On some real G shit. It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 fucking years. So, no, and I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Speak are, bam. But you cannot take the truth and be mad and tells it to you. So just chill, bro. Shut the fuck up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it. I apologize. I digress.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much.
I want
you to continue because I was listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been turned into public enemy number 1. I say the same thing when I hit every stage. The single motherhood rate in the Black community in the 1960s, before Lyndon Baines Johnson started the Great Society Act, was 23%. At that time, that was considered very high. 23% of Black people growing up without a father in the home. The single motherhood rate in the Black community today is 74%. 74% of our children are growing up without a father in the home. It was Barack Obama, who I don't even really have anything for, who told you what happens when you remove a father from the home. You're 9 times more likely to end up in prison. You're 6 times more likely to drop out of high school, and you're 12 times more likely to lead a life of poverty. Why is nobody talking about father absence, and why do we keep being silent when we actually do? This is what Black conservatism is, by the way. It's really not. It's not that controversial.
So let me. I'm gonna let you come in a second, but I want to make sure I get the trade in. And then we're gonna open this up a little bit because at some point I hear all of this, but the issue is we still got to elect people and we still got to create power from the local level, state, and national. And so there's a plan that has to be in place for us to be able to deal with some of this stuff. So Katrina, I want to hear from you as you've been engaged in this current administration. What is it about this administration that makes you so confident that it has the ability to deliver what a Black community that this president is
met President Trump.
Now, this is the biracial girl you're talking about, right? Renee? Renee?
Yeah, yes.
This is the biracial girl you was talking about, right?
It's hard for me to hear the audio, but yeah, I think that's who was on talking.
Yeah, I can't make it any louder. It's just they talk. Some people talking in the mic louder than others. It's the way they hold it in the mic.
It's probably her, but yeah, that's probably her.
Before he actually ran for office, talk about certain things that I felt were really important to me as a Black mother, not just as an American or as a voter, but what he has done since he's been elected is he's proven himself. He has given more money to HBCUs. He just eliminated $300 million of debt from hurricane relief from HBCUs. Just gave them another $100 million more on top of what no one wants to talk about, like those at MSNBC and CNN, are opportunity zones. There are 9,000 opportunity zones that was established by the Trump administration, including probably 24 counties right here in Atlanta, in this state, in Fulton County, where he has put up hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into Black communities, not just impoverished communities, but Black communities. And to me, you put your money where your mouth is. This president has done that. So what you should do, all the young people in the room, we've heard we don't have a voice. We hear disenfranchisement. Well, guess what? Who has been in charge of these communities for the last 4 to 5 decades? Democrats. Exactly.
So wait a minute, no, wait. I'm loving where we're going. I'm loving where we're going. And I love the fact that, to me, promise zones sound a whole lot like empowerment zones from the Clintons. And neither party delivered on making sure that legitimate development took place in our communities. And so I'm interested, Tim, in you coming in, especially on this economic piece. How do we begin to really deal with that? Because the federal government creating zones has normally been the places where gentrification starts first.
Okay, so that was my point. I had a question for you young ladies, and Candace, we spoke many times, and you.
Okay, this is T.I. For those that's wondering, T.I. just grabbed the mic.
Extremely brilliant young lady. And my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? I mean, that you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter, or any of your brothers or any of your family members, if they are caught out there by a policeman who is in a covert, undercover white supremacist and get gunned down, this constituency would have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Please let me answer this question.
And we can't, and although what you're saying is absolutely, a lot of the things that you're saying are absolutely factual. A lot of the things that you're saying is not merit, but I can't even get to that before I address.
I will address it right now. I'll address it right now. I love it. I love it.
Up on it at all.
Love this question. I will address it.
Yeah, I love it. From opportunity zones.
I love that we're talking about white supremacy. I'll answer the question.
Excuse me. I didn't interrupt you. If I may. You're talking about opportunity zones, and I will never have anything negative to say about the financial benefits, tax breaks that come from the Republican Party. I'm a rich person, and I appreciate. You dig what I'm saying? Hey, listen. I appreciate all of the different tax breaks and the opportunity zone benefit, but
it's called a crooked clock is right twice.
Right. I get that. But what we must understand when we're talking about opportunity zone, and we're giving the credit to the person who is pushed that legislation forward, which it started with Tim Scott, a Black man who happens to be a Republican out of South Carolina. That's who wrote the legislation and presented it. However, the present president, if you can call him that, he did allow it to go through. But in order to benefit from opportunity zones, you have to have capital gains taxes. It ain't many Black people in these opportunity zones
they have
capital gains taxes to be able to reap the benefits of these things. Therefore, there will be billionaire corporations don't need, doing shit that don't help us, but they do that so they can shelter their taxes. Now, I've been investing in opportunity zones all my motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be damned if anybody gonna benefit from it, and it ain't gonna be me. So, but I actually know the need of the community. You have these systems in place, but the people who have the most readily, the most ability to take advantage, and who are readily able to take advantage of the people who have absolutely no genuine interest to do anything to support this community that they're coming into. They have there's no real tangible investment. They're just doing it to shelter their tax dollars.
So thank you, Tim. Hold on, Katrina. I want Candace to talk about your first point, and then Katrina, you respond to the second.
All right, so to tackle the white supremacy thing, your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
Yes.
Somebody please go to his Twitter feed right now. Right now, go back to the shootings. He said, no, because we gotta tell the truth. I do not stop. No, now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that.
So listen.
What he said was that there was good.
No. Let me finish. Stop. Because you guys are so hung up on Charlottesville and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something north, somebody counted of 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened. He said America is no place for white nationalism and white supremacy. That's an issue that has to be tackled. I'm paraphrasing. You can go find it. Secondly, he calls himself a nationalist. Stop. You can fact check me. I'm either lying to your face. You can go on Twitter right now. You can do it live. So secondly,
you want us to believe the first thing he says or what he says after the media comes after.
No, I'm talking about
because the first thing he said was that
you're asking a different question than T.I. did. T.I. said, "How can you work with an administration that has never denounced white supremacy?" You're talking about Charlottesville.
I'm talking about talking points that come out later. But what he starts with is racism. That's what comes out his mouth when he starts.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you why the black vote is the easiest vote for Democrats to keep for the last 60 years. All they have to do to get our vote. Let me tell you something. If people know what you fear, you are the easiest person to control. The Democrats have figured out that Black America is emotionally responsive to the word racism. She says racism, you jump up, you start cheering. You haven't even listened to what I've said to rebut it, okay?
But it's the
100%. The biggest issue. Let me finish. The biggest issue facing Black America is not white supremacy. When Trump said there were good people on both sides, he was talking about the fact that some people that were in the Charlottesville rally, and he could have paraphrased that better, he could have said something better, literally came there because they don't believe that statues should be torn down. Okay? Other people came there because they were upset that amongst people that came there to watch the statue be torn down were also white nationalists. So what he meant was there were some people that were just there using their First Amendment right. There were some people that were there to respond to the white nationalists, and a big mess happened. I'm not trying to defend him or relitigate a situation. I'm saying that being hung up on that is allowing you to not look at an administration that is tackling so many issues in Black America right now. I do not consider myself a Republican. I definitely am not a Democrat, but Trump woke me up. I used to be liberal. Trump woke me up to the idea that we're being manipulated by the word racism every 4 years.
So wait.
Every 4 years. They call everybody racist.
All right. We're going to get into this because what I'm concerned about is how is that any different than the fear that Trump has created in poor whites? The fear that Trump has lifted in poor whites, that Black people and poor urban people are their problem.
Right.
When did Trump ever say that? That's a fallacy. When did Trump ever say Black people are the problem?
Make America great again. That's when he said it.
Guys,
but I'm not on the panel.
That was Ronald Reagan's slogan. Was that racist when Ronald Reagan had it as a slogan?
Yes, what time?
It was.
Yes, let me ask you.
So that slogan is racist.
Please answer this. I have a question.
Wait.
Please just allow me just one outburst. Please. I have a question. When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make
I
America?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said "Make Black America Great Again," because Black America.
Before, we're talking about America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate?
Well,
which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question.
I'm
ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was I'm not saying it's okay, so why
Oh my goodness, my head's about to start hurting. My head's about to start hurting. First of all, I'm glad T.I. stayed on her neck and said, nope, you ain't answered my motherfucking question, because she started going off to one of her little bullshit ass copy and paste responses, and T.I. was on it and was like, nope, you ain't answering my question. And he kept his foot on her neck and made sure she tried to answer it. Then she had to go back and try to downplay slavery. Now she got to downplay slavery, try to make sense out of her dumb ass motherfucker. Yeah, my bad. But I had to chime in and show y'all, yeah, this is what's happening right now. This is interesting though. Let's go.
One out first, please. I have a question. When you say make America great again, which period are we talking about? The period when women couldn't vote? The period when we were hanging from trees?
I'll answer.
Or like the crack era? Which period in America are you trying to make America?
I actually think that I would totally rock a hat right now that said "Make Black America Great Again," because Black America.
We're talking about America. That wasn't the question.
I am answering your question.
Which period was America great that we're trying to replicate? Which era was it? Tell me.
I think I'll answer your question. I'm ready to answer your question.
Which era was it?
What?
Which era was so great?
Here's the thing that you guys are forgetting. America was actually one of the slavery was all over the world. All over the world. America was I'm not saying it's okay, so why are you saying America was one of the first countries.
I want to like you so bad.
I'm trying to answer your question.
I want to like you so much.
I want to hear you. I want to be able to hear them. I want to be able to hear them.
Answer the question and you're just going to boo when I say slavery was all over the world, which is a fact. Why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't gotten into my points. I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing.
I haven't finished it. How am I making light of anything? We can be emotional. We can move. But I'm telling you right now, the black is not going to matter after the next about 5 years if you don't start paying attention to what I'm saying to you. Because I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. The absolute truth about what is happening in Black America. You are being used, abused, and manipulated emotionally by the Democrat Party. Right here, I'm telling you it, and you're being responsive because I can't finish a sentence about what I was going to say about slavery.
Katrina.
Everyone in totality.
But you started with shit. Man, that's not intellectual. That's bullshit.
I need you to come in. I need you to come in because this point is dead. And so I want us to talk about this issue of money and who's coming into the community and what that money means.
Look, like this is really a lot to unpack. First, a lot of things that need to be clarified. First, you don't need to fact check Candace or anybody else on what Trump actually said. Call Jake Tapper at CNN because he already fact checked it and said he was pulled out of context. So it's already been fact checked in the media. Number one. Number two, I think hundreds, if not thousands by now, of young Black men will be going home for Christmas because of criminal justice reform put in place by President Donald J. Trump. That impacts the why is nobody applauding that? Like, in a major way. Like the three Democrats who have been given harsh sentences. People have been in there for far too long. And you know how that happened? Because Black people who are woke went to the Oval Office and said, how can we help Black America? President Trump says, whatever I can do, I'll do it. You want your...
Just to let y'all know, family, this is another girl right here talking, some biracial chick. I guess she got Candace back. Whatever. just trying to keep on track. Who's talking?
You want your basketball players coming back from China? I'll help you with that. You want that, Rocky? I'll make that phone call. Come to the table. He is willing to help. T.I., look.
See what I'm saying? You just did. And if you listen to a person talk long enough, they will reveal themselves to you. You just did it. You just showed.
There's several things I want to deal with before we continue on because it's so much. It's so much, and I don't want to till the end it's like getting everything out. But I want to address a few things, and then we'll go back into listening some of the things. To some more of the things like when Killer Mike speaks, all of that's really interesting. But I want to ask a couple of things. First of all, like I told you, the other chick up there who was the one talking about empowerment zones, her name is Katrina Pearson. Like I told you, I looked her up. She was a former spokesperson for Trump's 26th presidential campaign. Okay, so you already know where she's at with it. All right. And I just want to say this real quick too, because I saw a couple of people talking about this or whatnot, and they were saying, well, people didn't give Candace Owens a chance to talk, and people need to give them a chance to talk and express themselves, and we have differing views. See, excuse my French, that's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why it's a bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why that thing and in these conversations become so ridiculous with that type of mindset. Because they are there to do the bidding of the Trump administration, of the Republicans. That's what the conservatives, who they are there working for. They are not genuine in anything that they have. And that goes back to what we say, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were just breaking up real bad.
China, I'll help you with that. You want that? I'll make that phone call. Come to the table. He is willing to help. T.I., look.
See what I'm saying? You just did it. And if you listen to a person talk long enough, they will reveal themselves to you. You just did it. You just showed that what they did was they manipulated black people by thinking that if we don't get this person out of jail,
that's not a manipulation.
With you.
You come to the president of the United States.
I am from the ghetto. I have been peeping game for a long time. I know when shit ain't right.
You should know that.
I know when shit ain't right.
This is why you should know that. Trump is how many jobs? How many jobs are created?
I do agree with the criminal justice reform. Is that great things?
You invest in opportunity zones.
It's from an opportunist perspective.
Oh, okay.
So
Trump helps he's a racist. He doesn't help, he's a
I want Mike
racist.
to come in on this. I want Mike to come
Such
on
crap, man. If Trump helps, he's an opportunist. If he doesn't help, he's a racist.
Mike, I want you to come on this.
There's no winning here.
He's an opportunist and a racist.
Oh, at the same exact time. So damn if he does, damn if he doesn't.
Can you hear me now?
We can't have progress. Damn why.
Say it again.
Am I breaking up now?
You sound okay right now. Oh, damn, I just lost my space. Go ahead. Go ahead, Renee. Renee?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
Yeah, you sound better now.
Oh, okay. So, oh man, okay. So, yeah. So I just want to say a couple things, like I said, and we can go back. So everything's not being dumped at one time. Okay. So this whole idea of the empowerment zones and opportunity zones. Let's first be clear that this was something that came about in 1993. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's clear. So, some idea that this was something that, Trump did, all this and that. The Empowerment Zone Initiative created an opportunity for economic rejuvenation and job creation for communities across America. Enacted in 1993. Its purpose was to create jobs in the most economically distressed areas of urban and rural areas. through tax incentives and grants. So I want to make that clear. So this idea that Trump is doing something that is so new and so revolutionary is false. This idea has been around forever, and as they were talking about, this is most productive for people who have money, not for poor people. That's number one. And number two, that's the next step in opening the gate for more gentrification, as you see the results of what's been going on. And again, this is something that has been about since 1993. So they're trying to run that game on you as if Trump is doing something so new for Black people. That's bullshit, excuse my French. And that is not exclusive to Black people. Let's also make that clear. Something I really want to address. Oh, yeah, let me address this too. She was saying that, oh, he's against white supremacy. He's spoken out against white supremacy and white nationalism. Here's the problem with that. First of all, nah. He had to have a ton of pressure on him after that Charlottesville situation for him to even come out and say anything against it, right? But he still was talking about some it's good people on both sides and all of that type of rhetoric. However, the biggest clue for those who don't know, to show you just how much of in support that Donald Trump is to white supremacy and white nationalism, besides him being one, is that his advisor, Steve Bannon, who is no longer his advisor because he went on to move into doing more things like Brexit and to doing more involving white supremacy in Europe. But his advisor, Steve Bannon, is a known and self-titled white nationalist. So how can you tell me he doesn't support that premise, but that was his right-hand man? That was the one who was behind his campaign. That was the one who helped craft his campaign. That was his direct advisor. So how was he against that, but you have someone who represents that? The other thing is the whole idea of MAGA, which was excellent, and that had been my question for the longest during Trump's campaign, is when was America great? And what was the condition of Black people at that time? That was always my question. But T.I. asked her that, and as you see, she was dancing around. She never straight up addressed it. She never answered that question of what time. Then she finally went into some other BS. But here's the thing. You want to talk as if, I heard this other guy talking as if MAGA doesn't mean, Make America Great Again, doesn't mean anything racially. That's BS. That is a racial dog whistle. And the people who are with it, they know what it means. And Black people got to get real about the situation. So don't even listen to that mess that she's trying to push to dupe Black people into thinking MAGA means something productive for us. Because as you notice, she immediately said, I would absolutely wear a hat that said, Make Black America Great Again. Huh? You're not answering the question. And when was Black America great? In my opinion, Black America has never been great. It has never been great because we have always been under the thumb of white supremacy, period. As y'all know, I don't really subscribe to that whole mentality of progress. Either you're equal or you're not. Either you have justice or you don't, period. Let me jump to a couple more things and then we can go back to the clip. You notice when the other chick, Katrina Pearson, was talking, and she was talking her pro-Trump rhetoric. What did she bring up? ASAP Rocky. As we talked about on this show, that was going to try to be used politically to sway Black people in this next election to think Trump gives a damn about Black folks. What the hell does ASAP Rocky have to do with the price of tea in China? Not a damn thing. That is BS. That's supposed to signify something for us as a community. Well, he's a celebrity. He has money. And on top of that, whatever Trump supposedly didn't get him out of jail. And many people say it made the situation worse. So what are you talking about? Let me see. Another thing I want to hit on. I took so many notes, y'all. When she said, when they know what you fear, they can control you. Okay. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But she goes into, They know Black people are emotionally responsive to racism. Do not fall for that. Do not fall for that, Black people. That is a damn trick bag. That is to get you to shut up, to be quiet, to suffer in silence. As if we stop talking about racism, racism will stop. This is essentially what she's telling Black people when she's saying that. Don't respond to it. Don't say anything. Oh, they're using it to trigger you. What do you mean using it to trigger you? This country is built on racism. There is no way possible you can separate America from racism. It's an impossibility. So what do you mean they're using it to trigger you? That's what this whole shit is built on. I was gonna go on about the fathers in the home, but I may save that because they're gonna talk more about that. But I just want to say this, and then we can go back to the clip. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that fathers in the home BS. And see, that's the thing. People will sprinkle sugar on ish, okay? And then people fall for the sugar. Because, oh, she's saying a thing here or there that seems to be true, or that a lot of Black people may feel is true, or that speaks to a lot of Black folks. But at the end of the day, her overall message is one pushing you or trying to get you off the so-called Democratic plantation only to go to the Republican plantation. Notice when you hear Candace Owens speak, you hear the other Katrina Pearson speak, you hear ABL speak, you hear these other Black conservatives speak. Notice they never give you a Black agenda or plan that the Republican Party or the Trump administration has for Black people. Notice they never give you that. They never have an agenda. They never have tangibles. They never have specifics. What they run on you is to go talking about Hillary Clinton. What they run on you to go talk about Obama. That's all they do is deflect. They never provide you with any information to say, hey, well, you know, they have this, that, and the other plan. This is what they've put in progress to really, truly, and I want to be clear about that, truly help the Black community. See, it's one thing to talk, and then you get empowerment zones. Honey, that's been around since 1993. Come better than that. Come better than that. What else you got? What else y'all supposed to do? She mentioned education in Baltimore with the children. Well, what is the Republican Party doing about it? And then this is what they will tell you. They will say, well, in these areas have been Democratic. It's been the Democrats, right? It's been the Democrats who've run it into the ground. Here's the thing. I just want to make this clear. I am not a Democrat. I do not support the Democratic Party. I don't support the Republican Party. For Black people in America, there is no such thing as Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal. There is only white supremacy. They are two sides of the same damn coin. One is covert, more covert. One is more overt. I am pro-Black people. I am pro our community and what our agenda is and what will be best for us, not any type of political party. So because I'm saying this, that doesn't mean I'm in support of the Democrats. I'm just pointing out what it is that she's doing. So they constantly deflect and then say, well, the Democrats ran it into the ground. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick thing. When you look at the most Republican states in the United States of America, two states that constantly either top the list or in the top 5 or top 3, if they're not at all the way at the top, and that is Alabama and Mississippi. But guess what Alabama and Mississippi also are? They are the poorest states in the entire nation. Guess what they also are? They have very high Black populations per capita. In fact, Mississippi has more Black people per capita than any other state in the United States of America. And when you look at the condition of Black people in Mississippi, it is beyond poor. It is beyond poor. And we're talking about states that have been ran by Republicans from top to bottom for decades of time. Why aren't those people flourishing? Why aren't the Black people in Mississippi and Alabama flourishing if it's about the Republican Party caring about Black people or having better plans for Black people than what the Democrats have? Y'all are the same damn thing, and they're never going to tell you about that. You can continue.
Okay.
Of the United
I am
States.
from the ghetto. I have been peeping game for a long I know when shit ain't right.
You should know that.
I know when shit ain't right.
This is why you should know that. Trump is damn if he does. How many jobs are created
with the criminal justice reform. He's done great things.
You invest in opportunity zones.
It's from an opportunist perspective.
Oh, okay. So Trump helps he's a racist. He doesn't help, he's a
I want Mike
racist.
to come in on this. I want Mike to come
Such
on
crap,
this.
man. If Trump helps, he's an opportunist. If he doesn't help, he's a racist.
Mike, I want you to
Right.
come on this.
This is no ridiculous.
He's an opportunist and a racist.
Oh, at the same exact time. So damn if he does, damn if he doesn't. You want to know why we can't have progress? This is why Black America cannot move forward. Exactly right, man. Because you have somebody willing to put it right.
That's another lie. Black America has been moving forward
No, it
generation by
hasn't.
generation.
How is that so?
Self-sufficient
No, it
black
hasn't.
people. This forum was brought to you by a black man. You understand that?
And it was happening before Trump
I ain't gonna
became
let you say
president.
my children, black people ain't moving forward.
I've been declining since the 19th. Are you sure every major statistic? We are not moving forward. Do not let him tell you that lie. Wait.
Hold on, Katrina.
Are you
Mike has been sitting here listening to all of y'all talk. Mike, go ahead, brother. Brother, go ahead. Niggas. Go ahead. Niggas. Stop it. Stop. Everybody, hush. Listen. I'm about to give you the secret to what the fuck y'all are witnessing. What you niggas, N-E-G-U-S, of the royal kind, that niggas, N-I-double-G-S, what y'all are seeing right now are free people arguing over who got the best master. Oh yeah.
Boom! Boom! Just lit a fire on their ass. He could have just dropped the mic and walked off stage right there. Y'all see the title of the motherfucking stream? He could have dropped the mic right there. Renee literally just touched on this without yes. One more again for the people, for the slow people in the back.
Mike, go ahead, brother.
Killer Mike.
Go ahead. Nigga. Stop it. Stop. Everybody, hush. Listen. I'm about to give you the secret to what the fuck y'all are witnessing. What you niggas, N-E-G-U-S, of the royal kind, that niggas, N-I-double-G-S, what y'all are seeing right now are free people arguing over who got the best master. Oh yeah. So, we're gonna go back to silent. Let's register this shit back down. We're gonna lock this back down. So, I'll tell you when America was great. 7 years after the ending of the Civil War. Oh, Candace, because you didn't give the comment, so you weren't prepared for that. No, but that's not to jump on Candace, because again, I'm disagreeing with my friend. 7 years after the end of the Civil War, blacks within 7 to 15 years accumulated over 15 million acres of land. Hold on, before we get to clapping, because niggas bought some shit. Black people were the only skilled labor in it. So if it was welding to be done, iron bending, cotton picking, it was black people. So instantly, your value became more. And Candace has a point. The point that she made about illegal immigration affecting you is that it's going to affect you at some point. Why? If the Kegel Chicken Factory is hiring illegal immigrants at an undercut on the rate, it affects the black people who live there, who should be demanding $20 an hour because they're being undercut. So when they get wiped out, they have to hire blacks, pay them, and unionize. So she's right on it. But hold the fuck on, I'm not finished. You have to remember that people who look like you immigrate too.
And that's real spit right there. But that's the shit people don't want to hear, though.
So that's why people who are black, going from two different plantations, got to get the fuck away from massa long enough to say, how are we going to burn down both their fucking houses? Now, this is my thought. This is my thought. I don't care if you destroy the Republican or Democratic Party, because at one time, blacks were Republicans. And you dominated those 7 years after the Civil War. You were Republicans. You had more blacks in the House and Senate than you do now, and you dominated your own economic communities. You did that as Republicans. As Democrats, you did the same in cities like Atlanta. You failed in other cities. But the most important thing is self-organizing. By the time we get to a candidate, we should have a list that says white man, white woman, these are our demands. You can meet them and get our vote, or not, we're going to stay home and crochet and make collard greens. But what you cannot do is continue to argue over who is the best master. I don't give a fuck if it's Trump, Obama, your mama, my mama. What the fuck do you have for me and my community? Now, if you do not, and if you stop playing, oh, I'm going to say the snazzy shit to each other on stage, I'm going to show that motherfucker this is going to be a quotable, and we close up the doors, and we simply say, how do we take the good of what you have, the good of what you have, the good of what you have and you have, how do we shape it into a 10-point agenda to present to every local, state, and national politician? If you cannot meet points on our agenda, we simply can't support you. I like you. I love your casinos, Mr. Trump. I like you, Bernie. I like maple syrup that comes from Vermont. But what do you have for us? Now, when talking about have black people done better, we keep doing better, we keep getting knocked down. We keep doing better, and we keep doing knocked down. So I'm going to tell people, this is your homework. Fuck trying to convince you. I want you to go home tonight. I want you to listen to Thomas Sowell. I want you to listen to, hold on, I got you coming. You look my nigga. All right? So, I want you to listen to Walter E. Williams.
Yes.
I want you to listen to Antonio Moore. I want you to listen to Yvette Carnell. I want you to listen to the economic strategy of Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey. I want you to listen to the political strategy of Stokely Carmichael. I need you to get on your study and prove yourself worthy shit, because I'm tired of arguing who got the best master. You are already free, now nigga, act like it. Do your research. Do your research and decide what's best for you, because what's best for us in Atlanta was a black man who said, okay, I'm the mayor now. You want to do business with Atlanta, meaning you want to have an opportunity zone. 29% of all government contracts had to be attached to black people. When he found out that there were no black architectural firms, he said, black people build driveways, we can build airport runways. So he gave the white architectural firms the rights to build the airport. The fucking Herman Russell Company laid the plane. So my thing is, as black people, how are we going to get in a room together, stop fighting over who's master, decide what our agenda is and how to leverage it? I don't care who agrees with Cap or JD or Jay-Z. I care that black people as a whole showed up to work today. What if nobody would have showed up to work? What if everybody said, you know what, fuck it, my nigga? What if everybody on the same day would have done that? If everybody, with every policeman, every beer salesman, every car parker, every NFL analyst would have not showed up. Until we're ready to do that, we're not serious about being free.
It's real.
You just here to see a show and argue over who got the best master. Until we decide what is the real breaking point. If blacks are 15% of this nation, we should be 15% of Wall Street. We should be 15% of music execs, 15% of Hollywood execs, 15% of governors, 15% of mayors. And until you hit that 15%, you're failing, fucking failing, no matter who your master is. So pick a better master. I say kill your masters and get your own shit.
Well, I'll be damned. He just, yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, Killer Mike, to me, just killed everybody. This whole conversation don't even need to take place anymore. Like, he just showed, like, all y'all motherfuckers sound crazy to me. Like, this is what I preach all the time. Like all you motherfuckers, like when I hear motherfucking black Democrats and black Republicans arguing over who's the best who got the best massa, I just shake my head and just be like, this is a sad sight. Like, this is a sad sight. Like both of these motherfuckers are arguing that this side is better than the other side when both sides is fucked up. Like I preach this all the time. People think I'm nuts. People think of this, that, and third. Oh, they just no. This is what being woke is all about. Realizing that, again, like Renee just said earlier, there is no such thing as a Republican Party or a Democratic Party. It's only white supremacy, right? It's only white supremacy. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. That's why I don't get all caught up, super triggered over the fucking Trump shit, because I already know it's the same. If fucking Hillary Clinton would have been in, it would have been the same shit. Same motherfucking shit, right? They all full of shit. They all a bunch of racist scumbags with a long history of racism. Both parties guilty. Democratic Party, first thing they want to do, like I said, they don't do shit for us because they don't owe us nothing. They don't feel like they owe us shit because we gonna vote for them anyway. Like a bunch of trained Negroes. And then the Republican Party, of course, they not going to do shit for us, but at least they honest about it. At least they upfront about it. Like, like I ain't trying to do shit for you. So at least you know what you're dealing with these motherfuckers. This is the Democratic Party that got you motherfuckers fucked up in the brain, not realizing what the hell's going on. We need to wake the fuck up, start holding our votes hostage. That's pretty much what he was just talking about. Holding the votes hostage and giving it to the highest bidder. Make these motherfuckers work for it. Motherfuckers think, oh, well, that's stupid, that's silly. Why is that? How is that silly? To me, it's silly to keep giving your vote away and not requesting anything for it. While everybody else is demanding shit for their vote, and then when they make their demands and they actually give their vote to this person actually gets shit done for those motherfuckers because he promised them shit. Right? Nobody don't promise us shit. A motherfucking thing. A donation to a goddamn charity probably ran by the NAACP. Lord knows where the hell that money actually goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, Donald Sterling done brought his way out of racism twice with that organization. But this is what they do. They drop the money off to some organization to do something with that we never find out what. Somehow or another, these people that's running the NAACP living real good, complaining about how black people is fucked up in this country while they living good as hell, getting all this donation money. Nobody seeing shit. But this is what they do. No tangibles, nothing tangible. They just say they donated. Well, where did the donation money go? I don't know. Go ask the black organization I gave it to. Go ask them. But I gave. It's crazy. Renee, you want to respond before I keep going?
Yeah, I had to unmute. Yeah, I totally agree with that, with the premise of what Killer Michael was saying, a lot of what he was saying. But he's kind of like a contradictory figure to me in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? But I'm of the belief that if somebody says something and it's some real ish, it's some real ish. You know what I'm saying? And he was kicking facts when he broke that down as far as, the idea of we need to be burning down both of their houses, both of their plantations. And not trying to go from one to the other. And that's essentially what Candace Owens and these other black conservatives are wanting black people to do. And they think that black people are so stupid that we will just accept that and fall for that. And I noticed earlier when she mentioned the piece about being emotional, we're emotionally responding to racism. See, Candace Owens has been she's been she's been counseled and taught how to do what it is that she's doing. And see, what she understands is another emotional term is the word plantation. So see, that's why she uses that word plantation. While she's sitting there criticizing black people's emotional response to the word racism and to white supremacy, she keeps using the word plantation to get to elicit an emotional response from
Facts.
black people so that they see the Democrats as being the plantation. And when you say that, essentially then you're saying that the Republicans are freedom. The Democrats are the plantation, but over here is freedom. So come over here. And like I said, y'all, make sure you do your due diligence. Y'all look into. Y'all don't have to believe nothing I say, nothing Psycho say, nothing we say, but do your own research. And like I'm just trying to let a lot of black people know because I've seen people respond to this conversation and they keep wanting, oh, well, we need to really hear what she has to say and we need to give the Republicans and all of that a shot. Again, Mississippi has not voted Democratic since 1976. Since that time, the Republicans have dominated the state's political elections. And so Trump was widely expected to win the state, of course, which he did. The same thing for Alabama. Alabama has voted Republican straight through since 1980. So we're talking about damn near 40 years.
Yeah. That state been red forever. That state's been red forever.
Mm-hmm. You know, so damn near for the last 40 years, both of them, it has been straight through Republican, damn near from top to bottom. So why aren't those states faring better? Why aren't the black people in those states doing better? Why is it that in the Black Belt region of Alabama, which I've talked about consistently on this show, why are the black people in the Black Belt region in Alabama, why did the United Nations have to come in and do an investigation and do a huge bombastic report based upon the fact that people in that region were developing hookworm, which is unheard of in a westernized world in any type of modern time. In modern times, you only find that in third world countries. And it was because of the failure of the municipalities. It was the failure of the state governments run by Republicans, where these people's drinking water had sewage in it and had feces in it. And you had people getting sick from this and people dying from this. In today's time, we ain't talking about back in no damn 1919. We're talking about 2019. So again, when these people run this game to you about the Republicans and the conservatives, put them on the spot. Put them on the spot. Well, what is the black agenda? Don't tell me about Hillary Clinton. She lost. Hillary Clinton lost. She didn't win. Trump has been in office damn near one full term and about to be up for re-election. He is the one we need to be talking about. I don't want to hear about no MFing Bill Clinton and no damn Hillary Clinton. And I don't want to hear about no damn Obama. Obama's time has come and gone. He did 2 terms. Okay, that's over. But we in a position right now where we're going to be coming up on another election and this bastard is running. So what is y'all plan? What is your agenda? If you're going to deflect, don't talk to me. And that's what black people should be saying. And anytime you hear a black person who is specific to a party, that should be a red flag, in my opinion. You feel however you feel. For me, that is a red flag. If you are coming to me selling the Democrats, I have a problem. If you're coming to me selling the Republicans, I have a problem. Because what should be being sold is the black agenda. And we selling it to the highest motherfucking bidder. That means who's going to align with what it is that we put down, then that would be the party that we support. But see, black folk have been doing that the opposite way. We have been aligning with these parties and then hoping for hope and change, like what Obama ran on. We've been hoping for change. We've been hoping that something is done. We've been saying, oh, it's the lesser of two evils. But evil is still evil. Evil is still evil. So how can you continue to justify that? I understand the premise. I get it. I had that mentality once too. But see, and then you get into the whole conversation and how the panel first opened up, and I'm gonna throw it back so you can play some more of it. But he was saying like they opened up, if y'all go back and y'all watch the full thing, they opened up talking about voting and talking about, y'all need to vote. How many of y'all didn't vote in the last election? And then he was like, and he was like, and they talked about the premise of, people died for you to vote, and whether or not that was important or whatnot. But the thing is, don't fall for the voting trick bag. I am not sitting here telling anyone not to vote, and I'm not sitting here telling anyone to vote. Y'all are grown ass people. Y'all make decisions on everything else in your life, and you don't come and ask me. So I'm not taking no responsibility for nobody voting or not voting. You do what you feel best. My point is to say that voting is not the issue. It's having the proper candidate and having the proper agenda is the issue. It's not about voting. Black people vote. Black people stand in line to vote. Black people go out of their way with all the obstacles and hurdles they put out there for us to vote. We still jump over them and go vote. But if you keep voting for people and for agendas that do not support you in your community, then what are you really voting for? And nobody wants to address that question. They tell you, wrap the vote, right? Now it's trap the vote, right? And they telling you, oh, vote or die. Remember that whole slogan.
Yeah,
they telling you all that bullshit, but you ain't telling me who to vote for and why. What's the black agenda? Who is this person? What do they plan to do? We need to put the fire up under them. What's going on? And then what you had some people say, and shout out to Garfield, but I'm gonna just say this because when I did that Sinetta thing, when I was talking about ADOS, and he was talking about how Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are critical of these politicians, and they're saying this, that, and the other about these politicians, and he was basically saying like we should be kind of buttering these politicians up, and that we shouldn't be talking down to them, or we shouldn't be saying this and that. Bullshit! It's the opposite. They need to be trying to butter up to us. We shouldn't have to kiss they behind to put it. No, this is what's on the table. It's black vote. It's black support. So are you going to get with it or you not? We don't have to kiss nobody's behind. They're trying to get black folks vote. And that's what you use your leverage and power behind. But we're so used to doing it the opposite way of aligning with somebody and then begging or hoping or praying or wishing that they will do something better for our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for the record, I'm not saying everything Killer Mike does is correct or everything he says is correct. I don't support Bernie. I'm not a Bernie guy. I don't. And all that. I do support reparations. I heard he don't, so I don't agree with everything. Which is kind of odd that he don't support reparations, but was shouting out Yvette Carnell. Another thing, I was like, oh, so he's shouting out Yvette Carnell's pretty big stage for her to be getting shouted out on.
Exactly, and we need. I'm a let it continue because I do want to read something to y'all about Killer Mike. I do want to break something down about him because that's the thing. We are all about being well informed. Like we always say, anybody can get it.
We heard most of the good stuff we heard already. So
yeah, it really is. After this, it's kind of just.
It's kind of
really, that's about the end. Yeah, it is. Let me tell y'all this about Killer Mike. Okay, now let me say this about Killer Mike. I would say probably about 70% of what he says, 75% or so of what he says, I totally agree with. I agree with him on black people owning guns and getting our licenses and arming ourselves and protecting ourselves in our homes and our communities. I totally agree with that. I agree with a lot of the other economic things that he speaks on and economic elements that he wants to institute into the community or promote in the community. I know that he's bought the block back type of thing in Atlanta and whatnot and things that he's done there. And I fully support that. He makes a lot of excellent points. And overall, I support a lot of the brother's premise. However, my issue is that he is being loyal to a party. because at the end of the day, he is pushing Bernie Sanders. He is supporting Bernie Sanders. And when they first started the panel, he made that very clear. So he didn't, he didn't leave it vague, which I respect that he did go ahead and put that out on the table. But that should be noted that he is supporting Bernie Sanders, who of course is a Democrat. So that needs to be understood. Now, here's my problem. I want to just give y'all this article. Now, this was from 2016, okay? But this hasn't changed because now Bernie's is running again for this next presidential election, okay? So let me give y'all this article real quick. This comes from the Washington Post. And like I said, this was 2016, January 21st, 2016. How Killer Mike answered Ta-Nehisi Coates on Bernie Sanders reparations. Bernie Sanders doesn't support reparations for slavery, but one of his key African-American surrogates says blacks should vote for him anyway. That surrogate is rap artist Michael Render, also known as Killer Mike, who took to Twitter Wednesday after The Atlantic published a piece titled, "Why Precisely is Bernie Sanders Against Reparations?" In the piece, author Ta-Nehisi Coates, one of the country's foremost thinkers and writers about racism, argues that Sanders' slate of radical positions is noticeably lacking when it comes to policies that would address centuries of violence and discrimination against blacks in the United States. To Coates, the way forward must involve reparations, which he calls the indispensable tool against white supremacy. If not even an avowed socialist can be bothered to grapple with reparations, if the question really is that far beyond the pale, if this is the candidate of the radical left, then expect white supremacy in America to endure well beyond our lifetimes and lifetimes of our children, Coates wrote. Well, definitely. Okay, so here's a shorter version of the argument from the New York Jelani Cobb. Candidate emerges, says, let's radically reimagine American democracy. Black person raises hand and then it's, hold on, let's be realistic. So you see Bernie Sanders talked all this stuff about radicalism, right? Except when it came to reparations. Then it's like, calm down. Let's be realistic here. Killer Mike, who supports reparations, responded to Coates. Now, he supports reparations, right? Wink,
he does support reparations, okay.
Yeah, but no. We're going to get there. All right. Let me scroll down because then they put up a bunch of Killer Mike's different tweets that he put up. Okay, well, let me read these tweets. Some of these tweets. Killer Mike, who supports reparations, responded to Coates and later Cobb on Twitter. I love the writing of Ta-Nehisi Coates. I am very curious why everyone thinks his critique of Sanders of some kind of death knell. Our current president of the United States has not been asked about reparations, and he is black. LOL. Huh? So wait a minute. So because Barack Obama wasn't asked about reparations, which at one point he was, and he totally shot it down, that means we shouldn't be asking Bernie Sanders about reparations? That's what you're telling black people? Because they didn't ask Obama. I can't remember who said this. Maybe some of y'all remember. But I remember it was Dr. Umar. And I know, people feel how they feel about Dr. Umar, but he was spot on with this. If y'all remember, probably a lot of y'all seen this too, an interview or one of his streams or something. And he was saying that because black people didn't require anything of Obama, once the next president comes who's white, you can't ask them for anything now. You can't demand anything. You can't put forth anything because they're going to say, well, you didn't do it to Obama. So essentially, this is what Killer Mike is saying. Well, people didn't ask Obama about it and he's quote unquote black, right? Quote unquote. He's black and people didn't come to him about reparations. Oh, but you asking Bernie Sanders? Well, hell yeah. Bernie Sanders is trying to get a vote, right? He's trying to get black people's vote, right? And if that's where we at, and that's on our agenda, which it should be top on the agenda, then you damn right. We asking Bernie Sanders, or we're demanding Bernie Sanders represent reparations, or he doesn't get black support. Let me continue on. I'm a believer that land in the southern United States should be allocated to blacks, and the land should come with no sale clause. Does Bernie support that? I don't think so. I believe the government of this country will never do this, but I can have a president of the United States who will be open to a federal loan program to help us. Huh? Wait a minute. A federal loan? You do know you got to pay a loan back, right? So we're expecting the federal government to loan us money to establish our own area within this country, and you think Bernie Sanders is going to be down? Get the hell out of here. Right. Young black families secure housing in many areas that are now being gentrified. It helps stabilize those communities. Now, who is the candidate that I think would be most sensitive to the very accomplishable goal and the other things that can and will help black people is Sanders. He went on identifying what he sees as a double standard in play against Sanders. The fact that blacks have to even justify the case for reparations is shameful. Absolutely, I agree with him on that. The fact that only one candidate is being called to task is bullshit, especially when that candidate is the only one with policy proposal that directly affects the black community if elected. Unless you are talking Rose Clemente and Cynthia McKinney, don't know if any American politician will ever say reparations, but I will hold out. I will hold out hope. Until that happens, I will and encourage other blacks that are concerned. See, there's that word hope. See, hope. I'm going to come back to that. Until that happens, I will encourage other blacks that are concerned with our poor working class and middle class to vote Sanders. You hear that? You hear that? So he's rallying people for Sanders. His policy could directly affect our community in a direct way. It sounds like Killer Mike and Coates talked Wednesday afternoon. Here's what they said afterward on Twitter. Killer Mike said, "Love and respect, brother, to Ta-Nehisi Coates. Best thing to happen today was getting to tell Killer Mike how much I loved his Poppin' Tags verse." Well, he retweeted what Ta-Nehisi Coates said. He said, Killer Mike said, "I look forward to more convo. Thanks for hipping me to HR 40. Now that's some BS. HR 40 is some BS. But anyway, Killer Mike said, "Thanks for hipping me to HR 40. Representative Conyers has a worthy campaign with it." Killer Mike said, "If Ta-Nehisi Coates agreed on everything or nothing, he would still be my brother and beloved to me. Love and respect as we all fight for black." Okay, so that's what Killer Mike said. Now, let's be clear. That was in 2016, okay? And Bernie Sanders, for this election cycle, has already made it clear that he does not support reparations. He continues on in his non-support of reparations, okay? Yet Killer Mike is still stumping for him. He's still pushing him to black people or encouraging black people to support Bernie Sanders with him going against reparations. Now, what I will say is that from that time in 2016 to now, you do have where there's been a lot more political pressure, a lot more pressure applied to politicians about reparations and them supporting it or what they plan to do about it. And a lot of that is because of the ADOS movement, not because of Cobra and HR 40 and these types of things, but it has been because of Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore's movement, basically, that they started. No, they did not start the fight for reparations. I am not saying they did. I'm specifically, though, speaking about the hashtag, okay, ADOS. And in terms of that, American Descendants of Slaves, in terms of that, okay, it has been put on the table. There's been now much more conversation about reparations. There's been more conversation about tangibles 2020, as Tariq would say. And that's a positive thing. But at the same time, Killer Mike is still aligned with Bernie Sanders. And more recently, Killer Mike has spoken out against reparations in his interview with Charlemagne the God, and he was basically saying that whole premise of why are we asking them for something? Why are we asking for a handout? Essentially is what he's saying now. So he may have one time supported reparations, and he may somewhat say that here or there, but he's also made it very clear that he still thinks that's asking for a handout. And again, he's still aligned with a presidential candidate, who does not support reparations. So you have to look at that too. I just want to mention that when it comes to Killer Mike, because you can't just glorify the good. It's about taking a look at the whole full picture of what somebody is saying and what somebody is doing.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I was just pointing out the facts that he was spitting right there. That he made the most sense, because at the end of the day, you stop arguing and bickering and fighting over which master is better. Stop the bullshit. Like, we gotta stand up for ourselves. We've been free for how long, and we gotta stand up for ourselves. Stop trying to, like you said, try to figure out how to burn both of these houses down. And that's why I'm at with it. Like you can't sit up here and just focus on one side of this whole thing, because you're letting the other side off the hook. Matter of fact, it's going to get to a point where you're caping for that side. Yeah, like, that's why I said, like, when you start becoming pro party, by default you're going to be supporting white supremacy. It's kind of hard not to. How do you not support white supremacy if you're pro party? If you're one of these ultra liberals that just these SJW type liberals that just support all causes. All causes need to be fought. All causes is equal to our plight and everything else. You one of these motherfuckers. You are supporting white supremacy at the end of the day when you do this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course, I ain't even gotta tell you how the conservatives support white supremacy. They bold as shit with it. They will outright tell you they support white supremacy. And so it's all a game. It's a chess game, and we losing this motherfucker because we still playing checkers. It's like we got to figure out how to maneuver within this bullshit. If we gonna play this game, we got to maneuver within it correctly, and just giving our votes blindly is not correctly moving under this system that is in place. We got to throw monkey wrenches up in here. We got to show these motherfuckers we actually have some voting power. Right now they so busy pandering to the Latino vote, because they starting to outnumber us. And given the time frame, if you're looking at it the way they population is growing and ours is just staying stagnant, their vote is going to mean more than ours in the next 20 years. So we got to put ourselves in position right now, because what these motherfuckers can talk this whole end of immigration bullshit all they fucking want as a pitch to you motherfuckers to get off the Democratic plantation, but it's all bullshit. It's like Renee said earlier, nobody benefits more from illegal immigration than these fucking conservatives. Thanks. Nobody. So at the end of the day, they talk this shit in one hand, but in another breath, they doing something else behind the scenes. So like they just catering to an audience. They catering to the poor white folk and the pissed off black people that's tired of the Democratic Party. They catering to those motherfuckers. And they gonna tell them the shit that they want to hear. They gotta create a boogeyman, because they know they're the real motherfucker. They know they the real motherfucking monster. But they gotta convince you that monster is something else. So they gotta create a boogeyman, and the boogeyman is the immigrants, right? Yep. If they can shut down immigration anytime they want. They can lock that shit down anytime they want. I seen them lock down whole fucking cities that was motherfucking that was straight. No, listen, we got blocked.
Remember when that Boston thing happened in Boston, the Boston Marathon?
Right.
They shut down that whole city.
Shut it down. Listen, matter of fact, 9/11 just recently happened not too long ago, right? I happen to live in the area where 9/11 happened. I mean, literally. I mean, when I'm gonna tell you how close this shit happened to me. When the Twin Towers was still up, I used to be able to look outside my window and see them motherfuckers. That's how motherfucking close that shit happened to me. You understand? Like that shit, the skyline does not look the same in New York anymore. Like it just doesn't look the same to me anymore. So like that's how close it happened to me. When that shit happened, everything got shut down. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere from Essex County, New Jersey, all the way up to motherfucking damn near upstate New York. You could to all the way to damn near far outside of Far Rock, Long Island, all that Sussex County. I don't care where the fuck you was at. You better be traveling with some ID because they got checkpoints everywhere. Everywhere was checkpoints. Couldn't go nowhere. You try to go, I'm telling you, try to hop on the checkpoint. You need ID, all that shit. They was not playing. They shut everything down. Everything down. Like it was droughts out here for months. And I'm talking about y'all, the bud and shit, it was droughts out here for months because motherfucking it wasn't nothing coming in. Wasn't nothing coming in, anything. Everything was shut down. They was not playing. So like they got the ability to shut down immigration anytime they want to. They just don't want to. They don't really give a fuck like that. They lying to you motherfuckers. With this whole wall shit and all this other bullshit. They lying to you motherfuckers. They lying. It's all front. But you motherfuckers eat that shit up. Mainly the poor white motherfuckers. They eat that shit up. Still eat that shit up. They're going to cater to their audience. And that's what the audience want to hear. Because you leave it up to the poor white motherfuckers. Black people and immigrants done ruined their whole fucking life because that's what the conservatives sold them. And they brought it. It is what it is. But I'll pass it, Mike. I'm starting to ramble.
No, you on point. And I just want to say you went right into it because I just want to talk real quick about three trick bags that they put us in. 3 trick bags we are consistently put in as a people. And one of them, I'm going to start with the one Psycho was just talking about, which is immigration. Here's the thing. I am of the premise of, and to recoin this, they need to hold their own nut. I am behind that 1,000, 1 million, trillion %. They need to hold their own tacos or whatever. Hold your own nuts, tacos, or enchiladas, whatever you want to call it. Y'all need to hold it. Black people we do not need to be out here supporting all of this stuff with this border situation going on. We don't need to be anywhere involved in that. These people cannot stand us. These people are just as racist as white people, if not more in some instances. Okay, these people don't give a damn about black folks. You never hear when they're talking about their issues, them lump black people into it. You never hear that. But when you hear black people talking about things that are more specific to black folks, they say black and brown people. You never hear no so-called brown people saying yes, and black people, and they go through this, that, and the other. You never hear that. So let them be over there. Let them do what they do. Let them deal with their own people and their own situation. Period. But here's the trick bag that we get put in with this immigration thing. So immigration does hurt black people in the sense of, some of the jobs and some of the things that with that situation. I don't disagree with that at all. I agree with that premise that some of those jobs, a lot of those jobs, it's a problem because those are jobs that more black people would at least be able to possibly be employed in. Here's the problem though. This is my thing. People are coming at this the wrong direction. See, people like Candace Owens, they keep trying to put black people in the trick bag. It is the companies and corporations that need to be attacked. They are the ones that need to be addressed behind the immigrants. Immigrants would not come here. They would not risk their life coming through that border, going through the desert and all of this other stuff that they do. If they got here and they had no way to make money, they would not come here. It is major companies and corporations and other smaller companies that employ these people, that have migrant workers, migrant laborers, that have people, they pay them under the table. That way they don't have to pay them any type of benefits like medical, dental, paid vacation, things of that nature. family medical leave, etc. They don't have to pay any overhead for these people. They can pay them pennies on the dollar, pay them under the table. And that's more profit for the people at the top. So don't be fooled by this whole thing of as if these people are getting in this country just some kind of way. And there's no way America can do anything about it. And America's suffering. No, the people at the top are benefiting. They're thriving. Because one thing I agree with Killer Mike, and this is what I've always said, America always has to have a slave class, period. That's what this country was founded upon and built upon. So that's essentially what they're using these immigrants for. So if you really want to deal with immigration, you attack the corporations, you attack the companies, you attack Dole and all of these other places where out in California, these people are out there in the strawberry fields. They with the oranges in Florida, wherever you go, especially along the southern area, you're going to find tons of these jobs, from blue collar jobs to low level jobs, physical labor jobs, whatever the case may be. And these companies and these corporations know damn well these people are quote unquote illegals. They know damn well these people are not here as legal citizens. Period. They know that. So don't fall for that trick bag that this is something so out of control they can't control it. They created this to be like this. Let me tell you something. Back when Cuba, they had the ban on Cuba and all that stuff, they could stop a damn Cuban cigar from coming in this country. Do you hear me? They can stop a cigar from coming here. You mean to tell me you can't shut down all these people coming over here if that's what you really wanted to do? It's not what you want to do. And if y'all go do the knowledge and do the research, you will see that Trump himself has been shown to have a ton of these illegals working for him in his construction businesses. See, so then you have people like Candace Owens and they come and tell you, well, it's the immigrants. It's the immigrants why you're not achieving black people. But they're not telling you that it's the white supremacists who own the companies, who own the corporations, who the politicians pay off, who employ the immigrants, who pay the immigrants, who set this whole situation up. That's what she won't tell you. That's what she won't discuss. So at the end of the day, that is a trick bag for black people in either direction you go. Do not support them. We shouldn't have nothing to do with their plight, period. And on the other end, though, be aware that people will try to use that, as she talked about emotions. They'll try to use that as some emotional argument so that you're blaming the immigrants. Because see, as long as you blame the immigrants, you're not blaming Trump. You're not blaming the Republicans in power or the other politicians in power or white supremacy. You're not blaming that. You're blaming the immigrants, right? They the ones, but not all these people over here with the wealth, the resources, and the power. Not them. Don't look over there. So you got to be aware of that. That's a trick bag. The next one. The next trick bag. Fathers not in the home. Y'all, don't fall for that trick bag, okay? Here's the thing. This is another deflection tactic. And again, like I said earlier, that's all these people know how to do because they have nothing else. If they don't have deflections, they have nothing. So she mentioned, a few times during that whole panel or whatever, she mentioned a few times about fathers not being in the home in the black community and, how this is so harmful and, how this is driving all of these issues in the black community. That is complete and utter bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not because I'm saying that fathers being in the home, not being in the home is a good thing. Of course it's not. Of course it is ideal because you have a mama and daddy to make you, that it be a mama and daddy to raise you. That's ideal. That's a given. Like that's not even up for debate. Like that's what it is. That is an ideal situation. But in a lot of cases, that's not the case. But they don't want to talk about the reasons why. And see, this is what people need to understand with all of these trick bags, with immigration, with fathers not being in the home. The way that you see society is not the condition of society, rather, is not from the bottom up. Society is in this condition the way it is from the top down. People never discuss this. See, it's not the fatherless homes driving all of the other things in the community. It is the policies that have been put in place over ages of time that have trickled down to cause less fathers being in the home. See, people have it backwards. And that's what people like her will never talk about. They will never address. Now, people say, well, in the 1960s, you had, people start getting government assistance and things in the Black community, and they had to put the fathers out of the home. I mean, it's certain levels to that. And see, what people don't talk about is the reason why Black people would feel the need to, or would not feel the need, but would need government assistance. People don't talk about why Black people would need help with getting food, a roof over their head, medical care for their baby. See, people won't talk about the reasons why Black people were susceptible to that or susceptible to needing that help. And it was because you're living in a racist society where you have very little access to wealth, to resources. So if you have a situation where you have a sick baby and you can get Medicaid, people gonna get Medicaid. If you have a situation where y'all poor, y'all scraping together to have food to eat, you gonna get food stamps. Black men did not have the opportunity to have livable wages or wages to provide for their families like white men did. It wasn't even until the late 70s where there began to be policies and legislation against that it would be equal pay. So you had Black men working the very same jobs as white men were making enough to provide for their families, and Black men were making pennies. So my father, my uncles, they all came from that era. And as they told me, a Black man really had like three things. You either went in the service, which each and every last one of them did. They all went in the service. You either went in the service, you either try to go out here and get some menial labor job, hard labor job, where they gonna be giving you peanuts, they gonna be giving you pennies, or you go on the street. You try to hustle and do what you can do. That was pretty much the options Black men had in the 1960s. So you damn right. If something come along where you can help take care of your family, you can help so your babies can eat, they can get medical care, you can have shelter, people are going to go for that. And the idea of the welfare queen and all of that stuff was created, it was manufactured. Now, see, the first thing a lot of people will say who are very critical of what I'm saying will say, well, you had these Black women just sitting up having babies and then. Listen, the majority of people who were on government assistance were on it because they needed it. Did some people try to abuse it or abuse it? Yes, anybody can abuse anything. But overall, people were not living high on the hog on no damn government assistance. People was not living high on the damn hog on no damn welfare. Stop it. Stop it. If a Black man don't have any other option, what you gonna do? You gonna survive. And you gonna do what you need to do to survive. And that has been the condition of Black America for a very long time, is being in a state of survival. And so that means when we go down here to this state building to fill out this paperwork, that's what I'm gonna do. See, people talk about it backwards, right? And they talk about, oh, the Black woman put the black man out the house. As if, as a collective, I'm not talking about individuals, but as a collective, Black women said, you know what? I don't want to have a family. I don't want my children to have a father. I don't want none of this. I just rather get some welfare, live in buildings with, excuse my French, pissy hallways and all of this other crap going on, They got lead paint, all of this other. I'd rather go through that. I'd rather have to go down here to this office and wait in line. I'd rather have to go through this hell. I'd rather have to, these people can pop up and inspect me whenever they get ready to. I'd rather go through all that than to have a man who has a good job where he's making enough to take care of his family. And see, that's what people don't realize. The money to provide was not there. That's why people were open to getting government assistance. So again, that's a trick bag when they talk to you about the fathers in the home. It comes from the top down, not the bottom up. It is the policies put in place that trickle down and impact the community. Let me go to the next one. And let me just to sum that up real quick. I am not advocating for fathers not being in the home. Because you will have people who know what the hell I'm saying, but they can't refute it. So they'll come with something. Oh, so you saying, of course, you need two parents in the home. Or that's ideal. That's ideal. But in the absence of that, you still have to raise your children and family the best you can. Period. And that's what Black folk been doing. Not everybody is upstanding, but they're never going to talk about the majority of Black people, which are everyday working Black people trying to do the best for their children and raise their families. They're never going to talk about that. They're going to talk, oh, this girl was a welfare. That girl, she had 5 babies by 4 different men. And they're going to always use some extreme, ridiculous example to be representative of the majority. That's what you're going to always hear. And as you see how many Black people and Black women have transitioned out of government assistance at a period of time when that was more prevalent. You see, but then they're going to talk about that. You see more sisters going to college, getting degrees, working jobs, making good money, being professionals. You see our brothers doing the same thing. People are out here trying. And the government has never sheltered Black people. Let's be real. Let me go to the next one. And also, you have all these white families that have 2-parent homes, and these kids, excuse my French, fucked up. They out here strung out on heroin. They had mama, daddy. They had the little dog. They had the white picket fence. They had the beautiful home, the great schools. And they out here shooting up schools. They out here shooting up concerts. They out here shooting up movie theaters. They had the world handed to them on a silver platter. But nobody talks about that. The meth and the crack and the heroin in the white community. And how bad that is. Now they say they're patients, not criminals. See how it's characterized different? And so that's why people always say, Black people are welfare queens. Black people are drug dealers. Black people don't want nothing out of life. Because our misgivings are always glorified. They're always put on display for everybody to see. The last trick bag, because I'm sorry, y'all, I know I've been going in. The last trick bag I want to talk about is prison reform. And the prison system, industrial complex in general. That is a damn trick bag. Let me tell you how. Because what happens is, now we talked about this on the show. I've talked about this so much over the years. I've done tons of shows about this. For years, about the prison industrial complex, about mass incarceration of mostly of our Black men, of our Black brothers. Of course, an amazing book that I love, The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. All of the above, right? But here's the other element that's not discussed. The overwhelming masses of Black people are not in prison and have not been in prison. So what they do is they come with some kind of program, like they're talking about, oh, Trump's prison reform is so many Black men are gonna be able to come home for Christmas this year. The one heifer said up there. Now, here's the trick bag. First of all, again, the masses of Black people are not in prison or have not gone to prison. And most won't go to prison, overwhelmingly, right? So if you're just doing something about prison reform, What is that doing for the overall masses of Black people? Okay, now it is an important issue, but they use it and they twist it. First of all, with this so-called prison reform, most of the brothers that are going to be eligible to get out should have never been in there anyway, or should have never been locked up for as long as they were. So you have brothers still in there for marijuana, okay? You have brothers in there mostly for non-violent drug offenses. And let's be clear, it's very funny how some of this so-called prison reform is aligning right when you have this huge issue of drugs in the white community with the heroin epidemic. That's mighty, mighty funny. Now that coincides. When we were at the height of the crack epidemic in the Black community, nobody came with this premise. But now you see all these white people strung out, like Dave Chappelle was talking about in his last stand-up. Oh, so now there's some reforms, right? So now there's some changes, right? So now what you're going to have is a very high recidivism rate because it's already high. So what they do is they'll let these brothers out on parole, right? So